Well, lately it's come to my attention that on my videos and other people's too, that there's always comments from apparently German women who want something from me if I just go to their website. So I guess that I'll just take the heat off and play their game. So I'm going to just go ahead and show you my nuts. So that's pretty, hey, that one's longer than the others. That's even surprises me. Welcome back. If you haven't seen my videos before, I'm Ross the Oliver Man. And today, I have a carburetor that a customer brought and dropped off on my front porch, off of a 550. This is actually off of a later styled 550. I've worked on several times before doing different things. That was back before the YouTube days though, so there's no footage of that. But he's having trouble with this carburetor, and he said he just absolutely cannot get it to run gas through it. So I don't know what has happened or what has been done, but I'm going to go ahead and pull it apart. And once I get it where I think it needs to be, I'll go ahead and put it on my 550 and make sure it runs, because I need to take my carburetor off because it's got trash in it or something, and it won't stay running without the choke being pulled out. So it won't be wasted effort. We'll go ahead and do that. We'll pull his apart and see if we can see anything that's wrong, and then we'll take mine off and then swap places with him and see if we can make this thing work for him. Okay, keeping with the low budget theme, and because this is in the shade, we're going to work on top of this bucket. Then hopefully if we drop anything, it'll just be down into that hole in the bucket and we can still find it. I'd rather not drop anything, but we all know that's going to happen. So his first complaint was he wasn't getting any fuel to come through. He said when he took the load needle out here. So we should probably do that too. That should probably be our first place to go, but it's not. I'm taking it in half. I already started. And he's put a new float in, and I can tell already that this is not adjusted quite right. Most generally, and you probably can't tell that on the GoPro because it distorts it enough, but usually these things sit level, and this one is too close to the top, so we'll address that in a minute. We'll get a wrench and take this out and see what that looks like. Everything's bound to be loose because he supposedly just rebuilt it. Boy, I don't see any. There's a little dirt in there, but I don't see anything necessarily out of the ordinary. I can see through. I bet this is going to be another one of those where it's impossible to do without having the tractor. But performing the blow test, it appears that nothing is plugged up. All the little holes are open. So that's not a problem. Let's go ahead and just, or we won't. We'll need more wrenches to do that. Although, yeah, we'll go ahead and pull that plug out. It doesn't look like he cleaned up the surfaces very good, so we'll probably go ahead and do that for him. Let's try this. Oh, why is that not coming out? Let's try something else. There we go. Rust. Look at that. Look at that. Plug solid. was rust down in there. This is just a drain really, but if there's rust in there, it's quite possible that there's rust other places. So we'll get that cleaned out. We're gonna have to get some brake clean or something, and I don't know if I have any. There's that hole is open to that side. Let's give this a little shot of attention. Well, that looks more better. In real life, you would do this on a workbench or table, but in practice, most likely you'll end up doing this in the field sometime, so you really need to know how it goes in less than ideal conditions. Okay, this is not brake cleaner, but it is magical nose candy. And basically what we're after is the aerosol action, which will blow out the crud and then dry away, not leaving a film, which it appears is working. I think this half is probably good to go. Based on what I've seen, I think we can reassemble. I just don't know what he's done, and that makes me nervous. Let's put this back in, because we know that this is not plugged up. So we'll put that down in there. Now we're ready for all this. Sure. Wrong tool. Yep. Let's just give that a little lubing, since that O-ring seemed like it was kind of dry. Let's do that. And it has decided to become miserable hot summer again, which I do not enjoy at all. And then in just a day or so, it's supposed to be like 40 degrees in the morning. So, okay, let's go 1. Let's go 2. We can go 2.5 to start with. Let's clean our pipe plug off here. We will put this back in. We may end up taking it back out to see what's happening. But that half of it looks good. Let's see what we've done here. We've got our new float with our new needle valve and clip, which a lot of times I just as soon throw that clip over my shoulder, because it usually holds it open and lets it leak. What have we got here? This Venturi is garbage. I think this is our problem, part of our problem anyway. I have a feeling that he put this in upside down at some point, or had it wedged in wrong and then broke it. I don't trust that. I think that's going to be his problem, or part of it anyway. I wonder if I have a spare. I might. We will double check on that. This doesn't look too bad. However, and stuff is going through it. Let's take out this valve. He had that one set closer than the other one, but still not. We're just going to start over here to make sure. Well, those passageways are open, so I'm not seeing anything that is causing his problem other than maybe possibly that Venturi having that crack in it. If you rebuild these, you want this thing to just flop, because if you don't, if it's stiff, you won't have much governor action going on there. Let's see what happens. Let's go 1.5 and a little bit more. I don't know what took place here, but it almost looks like somebody in desperation tried to chisel through and get this off the tractor, and that's no good. I wonder if that is going to cause a leak. I might take the file and knock that down. So this is what I'm talking about, where usually when you hold them level, the float is level with this, and then you know it's going to be okay. And open and close. I think that'll work. We'll go ahead and put it back together and then put it on the tractor and try it. And we'll see if that cracked Venturi is going to mess with it or not. I'm afraid it probably is. Okay, the camera shut off again. I did find a parts carburetor, but I'm going to show you quick how it's going. I did have another Venturi in that one. However, his float broke, which sucks because it's brand new. But I realized that it is not the right float. This is a small bowl float, and this is the one it takes. However, this one's bad because it leaks. I already robbed the good one out of this other one. So we're going to have to get him the right float, or get his float and make sure that the old one really was bad. And hopefully he can get his money back for this, because it just, it did not like being handled, I guess. It popped right off at the solder. So I'll get a hold of him and see what he comes up with, and then maybe we can finish this project. Now, carburetor number 2, we're gonna have to see what gives. What have we got here? We've got live battery cables, so we should probably not have that. Let's get rid of that. We should probably also have the fuel shut off to start with, and then probably turn it back on to make sure that we're getting good. Okay, I just love it when this camera keeps shutting off. So we'll see what happens. This fuel line is one of the few things I did to this tractor when I bought it. It was broke off right away. And then the only thing that was keeping the tractor from running had several stuck valves. So once I got that all lined out, it ran like a champ. So there's that. Now I'm tempted to see if I can stick my hand through and turn on the fuel enough that I can see if it's got good fuel flow. And I may not be able to do that. There we go. Yeah, it's got good fuel flow. However, the fuel coming out of it doesn't look very good, does it? Looks a little clouded. But it'll settle right out of it. That's our new modern gas. Nice and cheap. So we're gonna try to not lose an arm here, sticking our hand in between the loader for if a hose blew. The patented shearing action would make me a one-arm mechanic. And I don't know that that's good. People hardly want me with two arms. I can't imagine being one-armed would make people want me. So, oh boy. People were asking the other day about taking these carburetors off, and it's not rocket science. I mean, you got these two bolts here on top, your fuel line, your governor linkage, and your choke linkage. And I usually do it in this order. Take the fuel line off out of the way, get my two bolts loose, and then I pull it away from the motor to be able to get access to the other two things. Sure, drop my fine threaded nut. Oh no, I have to get out my nut collection again. Well, I'm gonna have to at least get a lock washer, because that is long gone. But that's fine, because it was actually cracked. So we're gonna get this. Oh, my poor gasket. It didn't come off in a nice way. Next, governor linkage. We'll get that out of the way. And I don't know if we'll be able to reuse it. We're gonna have to get a new one. This is why you want to disconnect your battery cable, because like I got my screwdriver right there. It's just a good idea. There we go. And that just pulls out of there. And then you can whip this up and get to your choke cable, which may or may not be in good enough condition for you to loosen everything. That actually, I don't think was adjusted. Well, it might be. It's not now, but we'll pull my carburetor apart in a minute. I'm just mainly curious to see how his will run, this tractor. Okay, it's a few days later. He managed to find his old float, and I put it in a bucket of water overnight, and it does not leak. So I think we're good to go ahead and put this back in. Okay, so we also need to put in our new to us Venturi, which I salvaged out of a parts carburetor. I really hate to give this away, but we need it now. I haven't found any place that makes these reproduction out of brass. All the reproductions you find are made of some type of plastic. I don't know about that, but that's the way it goes. So in theory, this only goes in one way, but I have seen people accomplish all kinds of amazing tricks with this and cause problem. And what I mean by going in one way is, you know, the two ends are different sizes. This end is supposed to fit nicely in this recess. So if you put it in here, I guess people think that it lays flush on top. I don't know. But I have seen instances of where people have put that in upside down, and I don't know, terrible results ensue because you're not getting the action that you need to draw the fuel up. So we will go with that. We need to get our needle valve, and we'll try it with the clip. I've also had mixed results with this clip. A lot of times I just throw the clip away, but we will try. And we need to find our new pin, wherever it was. I'm not sure that I like the new pin though. A brass pin, brass on brass. I don't know, that might, similar metals might stick together, I don't know. That's what he had, so we're gonna go with that. All right, I've looked at the float. and it appears to be set correctly. If you can see that, it's level when closed. That's always a good place to start. We will gently put this in, and we can see that it does not rub the sides now, which is good. The other one, very obviously, was not correct, because as soon as you dropped it in there, it was touching, and that ended up to be what his main problem was. Once you put the carburetor together, the needle valve was stuck closed because the float was against the side. So we will get this buttoned up here, and we will put it on my tractor, and we'll try to run it and adjust it the best we can, and then we should be ready to send this back to its home. I got to remember to take my fitting back out because he did not send a fitting, and that is my fitting, so I don't want to be without that when we rebuild my carburetor here. Probably in another episode of this series, but I hope you can hear. It's very, very windy for whatever reason. Life decided to go from extremely hot and humid to windy and fall weather, so there. I think we got it together. We got all the pieces in. That's not exactly tight, but we may leave that. Let's leave that loose so we can pull it out and check our fuel flow. We'll shine this up again. It's got some surface rust from overnight. And somewhere or another, I had a new gasket. What did I do with said new gasket that I was using the other day? Unless the wind has blown it away, which I suppose is quite possible. That's a real bummer, because we need that. Wow. Now, this is ridiculous. Come on. Okay, I found it back. It blew away. It's laying on the opposite side of the tractor. So, we'll slap this on, then we'll try to run her. And I think I'm also missing my little cotter pin. There it is. I see it now. Well, we'll give this a go. It's always fun when the tractor has a loader. It makes doing everything just so much more fun. And I'll just leave the choke off again. Like I said, I'll manually run it. Let's see here. But we want to put this in so we don't accidentally have an engine meltdown if it would overspeed for some reason. Okay. And put that in there. Get that started first. Boy, the wind, I don't know. It's kind of frustrating, but I like this weather over 100 degrees. Let's get that going. Come on. There we go. Get this side started too a little. Tightening things evenly is nice if you can. Come on. Okay. That should be good enough to play. Now, let's turn on the gas. Again, if I can reach my hand over to the other side without having to go around. I might be working harder than necessary. There we go. And let's just pull this plug out the bottom for a second. Let's see what kind of fuel situation we got going on. Oh yeah, we got good fuel coming out now, which he did not have before. So I think we're in good shape. provided I can get the plug back in. I can't figure out where to put my arm through to... Okay, we'll give this a go now. Start the tractor and see what we come up with. Okay, this tractor still has the clutch safety switch hooked up, which is super annoying safety. So we're gonna have to do something about that. We need to get all our junk out of the way that we've got piled up here. Come on, buddy boy. I'm gonna have to have 3 hands since I don't have the choke hooked up. We're not getting quite enough. I don't think we've run it out of fuel yet, but where did all my tools go? Oh, they left. They vibrated away. Okay, good. All right. I usually set them at 1.5 and 2.5. I'm leaking a little bit on that fitting, and that may be just the way it's going to be because I don't have everything tightened quite as it should be. Okay, let's try again. Shall we do something illegal? Yes, we shall. Come on. Okay. Can't even do that. We need some adjustment, that's for sure. Come on. Come on. Ah. My screwdriver is too long. Come on, why are we doing that? Why are we choking out? Do we have it set too much? Come on. I'm happy with that. I think that's where we want it. It'll get him going. He may have to tweak it on his tractor if his engine isn't the same health as this one, I guess. But as far as close to run, I'd say we're there. So we'll pull this off, and I will have to get a kit coming for mine, because just looking at it to start with, it's time to rebuild it. I don't think I ever did that when I bought the tractor. I think I just, if I had it apart, which I don't remember, I just cleaned it up a little bit and went again. So I think it's definitely time now to go ahead and fix it right, because you can see how well this tractor runs if it's got a carburetor that's, you know, clean. So I will pull this off of here, and then he will be ready to come back and pick it up. Well, I think we'll go ahead and call that the end of part one. So we'll pick up next time with rebuilding my carburetor that goes on this tractor. As always, leave a comment, hit the thumbs up, hit the thumbs down, whatever. Any interaction you have is good for the channel. And as always, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.